Good morning, all of you. Today we will read about bolted connection. We have already read about your different types of connections, like your welded connection, bolted connection, riveted connection, and pin connection. And most effective connection is your welded connection because it is a rigid connection uh, in comparison to welded or riveted or pin connection. Nowadays, we are using bolted connection or welded connection. Welded connection is more preferable than bolted connection because it is a rigid connection. And in case of bolted connection, if we will apply heavy load or vibration, then there is a chance of loss. That's why welded connection is preferable. So let us know about bolted connection and what is bolt, what is washer, and why we are providing washer. So a bolt may be defined as a metal pin with a head at one end and a shank threaded at the other end to receive a knot. So a bolt may be defined as a metal pin with a head at one end. A bolt is nothing but a metal pin. A head is one end and a shank threaded at the other end to receive a knot. At the other end, the body or the shank of the bolt is threaded to receive the knot. And also steel washers are usually provided under the bolt as well as under the knot to serve two purposes. To serve two purposes, and the purposes are here. You can see total body portion of the bolt. Here half portion of the bolt is threaded and half portion of the body is plain, and at the top portion this is the head, and here at the bottom portion this is the washer, and here it is the knot, and the in between length is known as your grip. There are so many technical terms you are using in your chapter, bolted connection or different types of connections. So that is your pitch, end distance, edge distance, staggered pitch, gauge. There are so many technical terms which we will read later. So these are the different types of connections. See the figure. These are the bolted connections: knot, hole, washer. So these are the different types of bolted joints, and this is the total length is known as your bolt length. Here there is two steel washers provided, one at the near the head and one at near the knot. Two washers are provided, one at the top and one at the bottom. So this is the total arrangement of bolt, knot and washer. Okay. So next is your advantages of providing washer. So these are the points under advantages of providing washer. So to distribute the clamping pressure on the bolted member, we are providing washer. The first point, that is to distribute the clamping pressure on the bolted member, we are providing washers. And to prevent the threaded portion of the bolt from bearing on the connecting pieces. To prevent the threaded portion of the bolt from bearing, we are providing washers. And next is, in order to assure proper functioning of the connection, the parts to be connected must be tightly clamped between the bolt head and knot. If the connection is subjected vibration, the knots may be loose, locked in position, and bolted connections are quite similar to riveted connection in behavior but have some distinct advantages. So if the connection is subjected to vibration, then the knots must be locked in position. So to avoid loose of bolted connection, we are providing washers below the knot or above the knot. That is also one advantage of providing washers in bolted connection. And next is your bolted connections, who are quite similar to riveted connection, but there are some extra advantages of bolted connections. So let us know what are the advantages. So there are two advantages here. The erection of the structure can be speeded up by providing uh, in case of bolted connection, the erection of the structure can be speeded up and less skilled persons are required. In case of your bolted connection, less skilled persons are required and the erection of the structure can be speeded up. So these are the two advantages over your riveted connection. In case of bolted connection, the erection of the structure can be speeded up and less skilled persons are required, because bolted connection is very easy, that's why less skilled persons are required. Okay. So next come to your the general objections to the use of bolted connection. Means what are the disadvantages of bolted connection? There are so many disadvantages of bolted connection. First, the cost of material is high. That is about double of a riveted connection. The cost of material of bolted connection is very high in comparison to a riveted connection. Next point, the tensile strength of the bolt is reduced because of area reduction at the root of the thread. The tensile strength of the bolt is reduced because the area reduction at the root of the thread and also due to stress concentration. Okay. And the third point, normally these are of loose fit, expecting torn bolts and hence their strength is reduced. So normally these are of a loose fit, expecting torn bolts and hence their strength is reduced. Last one, when subjected to vibration or shocks, bolts may be get loose. When we will apply heavy load or vibration or shock, then there is a chance of getting loose in case of bolted connection. So these are the disadvantages or objections during bolted connection. And also there is another point, that is in case of bolted connection there is noise pollution also. That is also one main advantage of bolted connection. Sorry, one main disadvantage of bolted connection. Next come to your uses of bolted connection, in which case we are using bolted connection. So first, bolts can be used for making end connections in tension and compression member. Means bolted connections are used for making end connections for both compression and tension members. Means compression member and tension member means where we are applying pulling forces at the two end of a member, that is known as your tension member, and where we are applying two pushing forces at the two end of a member to compress the member, that is your compression member. So bolted connection can be used for making end connections both in case of tension member and compression member. Then bolts can be used to hold down column bases in position. Generally there are two types of bases, one is your column base, another one is a slab base. So for connection of your column base and for holding the column base in position, we are providing bolted connections. Next, they can be used as separators for purlins and beams in foundations. Bolted connection also can be used in foundation for your purlins and beams. Used as purlins and beams. Bolted connection act as a separator for purlins and beams in foundations. So for today, this much. Next day we will proceed for your problem of bolted connection. Okay, thank you all of you.